What's up, Saab fans around the world, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to do some unboxing. I got a big pile of stuff behind me, so we are going to go through them package by package, and I'm going to talk a little about the products that I have gotten and why I have chose that type of product for my build. So let's get to it. So first up, we got a pretty small box. And these are from the United States, and these are Siemens Deka 875cc injectors. Not very much to see, but the only thing I can tell you here is you need to be really sure that you got the authentic Siemens Deka injectors. These come with a single hole, and the 630cc come with, I think it's 4 or 5 like nozzles. So I think the spray pattern is much better in the 875cc compared to the 630, and they are all based on pretty old technology, but they have worked before and they sure will do it again. And these work perfect with the E85 also. Next up is a bigger package. This is from KL Racing in Sweden. I have started to sneak peek a little bit before. So to start with, we got a set of subframe bushings. These make it very much stiffer and firm in the drivability. The handling of the car gets also much better, and usually on the 9.5s you get like a clunking sound when you accelerate and shift gears, and these help to stabilize everything, to make sure it's fastened correctly. We also got a Saab original emblem for the trunk. I have got these pillar holders that will fit the A-pillar, so we can mount a boost gauge and in the future also a wideband lambda. It's really good to have, so you can keep track on the boost pressure and also the lambda. For sure you could add like oil pressure or oil temp and all kinds of gauges, but I think 2 will do enough. I don't really like a lot of flickering like gauges in the face when I drive. Next up is a 100 cells race cat, which will provide some good flow. This needs to be heated up very much to pass inspection to make sure the correct values are shown. But this is really good for the flow, and my plans is to go and build like a 3.5 inch downpipe, I think. So I will cut into these flanges a bit, because it's 3 inch out here, but if you cut a little bit longer in, then you get 3.5. I think it goes up to like 4, but then you need to remount this lambda plug. and then I got 2 boxes of the same article. So this is the exhaust tips that I might be using on this car, or I will mount this on the TTID that I have that's currently missing a twin pipe exhaust. So I got 2 of these, and these are 2.5 inch inlet and 4 inch outlet, which will look pretty good, I think. So 2 of those. Then here's a really talked about issue when it comes to Saabs. What to choose for a clutch that holds up for the power and the Newton meters. And I have chosen to go with a solid 6-puck sinter. And the case here is many people suggest that you go with the ones with the spring, so it's a little bit dampened, but then it will not withstand as much power or Newton meters, as much torque as the solid one. And if you go with a 4-puck, then you won't be having any clutch like play or drag, so it will be a on and off feeling. With a 6-puck you will have a little bit more, and of course with a dampened or with springs on it you will have more like stock clutch. So I chose to go with this one and try it out. So we will see how that works, because everyone you ask, everybody tells you something different because of their experience with it. So this will be my experience, and if you would like to have like an organic clutch plate that acts like the standard or the normal one, if you need a clutch like that holds up power, it will be very expensive. So this is a little cheap way out, and since I don't gonna drive this car like every day, it won't be a big issue, I think. So at least we will try. So the next one is a pretty big one and a heavy one. Some tools. So now you might know what's in this package. I'm gonna place this on the floor and pick them up one by one. So this is the coilover for the front, and if you have a Saab 9599-01, this will fit bolt on. Just remove the strut bearing and the mountings and place them over this one, and you will be good to go. For my car, the difference here, it should be 30 millimeters. I think this is 20 something. And also the holes down here is a little bit wider, so the hole will sit a little bit higher. So what we do is cut this open, the welds in the bottom and in the top. Then we just move this apart, put something that 30 millimeters and squeeze it together and then re-weld it and drill some new holes, and then it will fit perfectly on our car as well. So what you need to do before is you need to take out the dampener, and they have all sorts of this. In this case you need to use like a plier, so you can rotate and screw this off, then you can pick out the whole dampener, because you should not weld in this when this is in place, because it can explode, and it certainly will do that if you put too much heat on this. So this needs to be removed before adjusting anything down here. So we will go more into the details when we are mounting this on. So and the rear one is a bolt-on fit on all Saab 9.5s. So what I usually do, because I like to go pretty low with the car, I used to cut off like 1 or 2 laps at the top, so you get a little bit lower spring. And even though that I have cut the spring, I have ended up in the bottom of the adjustment as well. So this I'm going to cut a couple of laps on before I mount them on, and set the adjustment to pretty high so I can go real low when I want to. So as I said, this is also just straight bolt on. So the next one is a pretty big one, and I think most of you could guess what's in it because of the branding of the package. So you got a solid instruction for the install. Very well packed, so nothing gets destroyed. Have a look at this really nice intercooler that fits on the original spot, and this is the biggest intercooler you can mount into the original spot. This is actually 85% larger in volume than the original one, and it's fully aluminum with welded sides. The original sides on the Saab intercooler are plastic, so when you increase the boost pressure, this tend to crack and leak. So this is the best alternative to go with. And it's a little bit more expensive than the like China ones that are for sales on many sites. But this is flow tested, they have done their research, and it has 40% better flow than the standard intercooler. It also lowers the air temperature after the intercooler with almost 40%. So this is a really good upgrade, especially when you are trying to do some like competition stuff or do track days when you have several pulls after the other and push the car really hard. Then this is the way to go. And it fits perfect, shouldn't be an issue. While the cheaper ones you can have some issues with the tabs not fitting and everything, so this is definitely the way to go. So a big thanks to Do88 for hooking me up with this stuff. I'm gonna put a link in the description to all the parts that I bought. So this is the nicest piece, super light, fully aluminum, flow tested. So this is a nice upgrade to the build, for sure. Really nice finish to all the products. And we got the silicone hose as well, we don't have to unwrap this right now. And we got the clamps in here. Everything provided, nicely packed. And they also sent some stickers, which I really like. I love stickers all day. Even since I was a kid, I've always been down with tape and stickers. Some black big ones and some black smaller ones, which will fit perfectly with what I'm trying to do to this car exterior. So big thanks, this will be going on the car for sure. So the next one is a pretty heavy one. No, not really. It's new wheels for the car, which I will need for track days. And I asked some people what is the best like size of tires and rims to go with, and someone told me like 18-inch and go with a 40 profile on the tires is the most suitable for tracks in general. If you go below 40 profile, if you have a smaller rim like 17 or 16, then you end up getting too much tire. Of course it depends on what tire you are running also. If you are running an R tire or something like that, that's designed to go on the racetrack. But if you choose like a regular or ultra high performance tire, then there's very important to go with the right profile on the tire, because too much will make the car wiggly in the corners. And if you go with too low profile, let's say for a 19-inch rim that you go for 30 or 35, then you end up having no grip in the corners because you don't have no tire. So I think this will fit perfect. This is a Lorenzer replica, so it's got the turbine look which is symbolizing the heritage of the Saab and where it comes from. So I think this is really nice. It's not perfect, it needs to be polished a little bit, but I will not be afraid to use them on tracks either. The tires are not new, but they got a decent amount left on them. And it's, I don't know if I pronounce it right, but Vredestein Alltrack Vorti. So it's a German manufacturer, and I think it's not the cheapest and it's not the most expensive tire you could get, but I think this will be a good way to start at least. So we will start with these tires, and when we get a little bit warm in the clothes and can handle the car on the track, we might upgrade to a little bit bigger. So this is an 18-inch rim and it's 8.5 inches wide, so it's pretty wide. The tires are 225/40 and they got a little bit of stretch to them. So we will try to throw this on the car and see how it looks. So this is the setup as we're running right now. It's a winter tire and it's 225/45, and I can see it also has a little bit of spacer in here. So we will see. So now it's pretty far out as it is, even though it's original due to the spacer. And also in the rear is a little bit further in. And what I usually do when I buy my cars is remove this plastic list that's always hanging, and then I will roll this edge so I can move the wheel out so it fits perfect to the fender line. Then it will look real good. So let's put on the new tires and see how it looks. So this doesn't look too bad at all. Of course the car will be lower with the coilovers, and there is some space left. I'm going to show you how you can do it to measure how much spacer you could need. So they sit really good since they are quite wide. But I don't want it to be too far from the edge here. So I'm planning to roll these fenders. So I think I easily could fit like a 20mm spacer or something like that. So for the front I'm doing like this. Put a piece of wood next to the fender. Try to keep it pretty straight, and you can see the lowest part of the wheel or the furthest out of the wheel is like 1 centimeter, and the top is like approximately 2 centimeters or 20mm. So in the front I think I will go with something like a 16mm spacer, so we still have some clearance because of the fender. But this fender I will also roll a bit, so we got some more clearance than it really is right now. But I think 16, maybe 20 if we push it a little bit will be nice. I've seen a lot of like Japanese cars, front wheel drive cars that go on the track that has this reversed staggered setup, and I got the tips from someone on Instagram. I can't remember right now, but I think it looks quite silly when they are running a wide tire in the front and a smaller in the back. But this is something that I won't do, but maybe I will have a little bit more width on the front axle than the rear. But I think we will go with something like 16 in the front. And the good thing about the spacers also is that I got the correct hub measurement on the spacer, so it will be like a conversion spacer, because these rims are 5 times 112 and they should be 510. That's the original Saab. And the hub measurement here is 66.6, and on Saab there should be 65.1. So it's a little bit off like it is right now, and I want the fitment to be pretty much perfect. So I will use some spacers in the front, and let's take the back also. So it's pretty much the same over here, or it's a little bit more. We got like 16mm or something to the lower part of the tire, and like 30 up top. So here we might go with something like 20, 22 or something like that, so it sits really flush. And there is no, like, you got a little bit of wider stance, which could be good on the track, I don't know, but it looks meaner, and that's what I'm going for. So I hope it will, and I hope it will be to some advance on the track as well. So I think we will go with 16 in the front, or 18 maybe to stretch it a little bit, and like 22 something in the rear, and roll the edges really hard. Then we will end up with a mean looking stance, and that's what I'm going for. So here is a little update on the gearbox as well. I want everything that I mount on the car to be fresh, so I have cleaned this off and spray painted it with some Rust-Oleum hard hat, which is like high performance for the industry and stuff like that, so it withstands really good. I did it on my convertible gearbox as well, and it was looking really nice when I sold it also. So I like to keep it fresh, everything that I mount on the car, so this will be a really good start. And then we will continue. I'm still waiting on some parts, which is soon to come. Not some big parts, I think it all smaller, like fuel pump and the slave cylinder for the gearbox change, a few more bushings, and yeah, I think that's it for now. So that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I will give you a little bit of update on the corona situation in Sweden, since I got some comments on it. As of today, the government stated a new law, or made a decision, that group gatherings of more than 50 people are not allowed, We still go to work, everything is moving on as always, but group gatherings more than 50 people is not allowed. Just a certain type of place like workplace and stuff like that. But the track day that I was talking about, the 26th of April, might be in danger. I think it is. But anyways, we will continue with the build, and even if there will be no track days, we will be out shooting footage on the road, find some closed roads in Mexico maybe, or Autobahn in Germany. We will see. We will manage that anyway. But that's it for now, guys. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you very soon again. Stay safe and bye.